everyone, before I start today's video, I just wanted to take a second and ask you to please subscribe and help me reach 100 subscribers. If you like nail art videos, I upload a nail art video every Wednesday at 6 p.m. New Zealand time. But anyway, let's get into today's video. It's these neon galaxy nails with a disco ball glitter feature nail. I am starting off with Bluesky Gel Polish 80549. I'm not using a base coat because I'm going over hard gel overlays, but obviously use a base coat if you need to. In hindsight, I would recommend that you use a white base, because the reason I was using a blue one was I wanted the blue to show through anywhere that the pigments didn't cover, but I ended up covering the whole nail with pigments anyway, and the blue just made my yellow pigments look a little bit green. So yeah, I would definitely recommend a white base. On the ring finger and the thumbs, I did a base coat of 80532, just as the base for my glitter. You could also do this in black, that also looks great. Once that is cured, go ahead and burnish in some fine holographic silver glitter. Oh, by the way, I did 2 coats of both colours and cured fully. Now I'm going in with my neon yellow pigment and just dotting a little bit on each nail, and then taking a slightly fluffier brush and blending that out. Don't worry too much about blending on this layer because there is going to be a second layer of pigments, and that's when you can blend those edges nicely. I do suggest working from lightest to darkest with your pigments, just so that you don't have too much dark pigment on your brush when you go into the lighter ones. I am dusting off my brush between colours so that they don't blend too much. You do want to be careful with the darker pigments because they are quite strong and they will overtake the nail if you use too much of them. It's better to use a little bit and then add more if you need to. So there I'm going in with the neon green. Obviously each nail is different. You don't have to do all the nails, you could do a feature nail if you like, but we were really going for it. Some purple in there as well. Blend it all together. Be careful when blending the darker colours, you don't want to push it all over the nail. Finally a bit of blue. And then once you've applied all of your pigments and you're happy with them, just go ahead and cure for 30 seconds, and that's going to kind of glue them down to the tacky layer so they don't all come off when you top coat. You could just straight top coat, but I find that I lose less pigment if I cure them first. So here I'm going in with my glitter top coat, which is just a top coat that is designated purely for glitter, and I'm just coating that silver holographic nail. You don't have to do the other steps of this nail, you could just leave it as that. Then I'm using my pigment top coat, which is just a top coat designated for pigment, and I'm top coating all of those nails. Then I will cure those for 30 seconds. Now often, if I'm not burnishing something into the tacky layer, I will cure for 60 seconds. But because I want to burnish, I only cure for 30 seconds, and I find this gets me a better coverage, especially with glitter. Because sometimes if there's not enough tacky layer, the glitter will apply patchy. So now I'm repeating that process that we did before on the glitter nail, but this time using a chunky holographic glitter. This time I would suggest you do more dabbing motions rather than burnishing it in, because you can easily rub them off because they are quite chunky. You want to make sure this time that you make sure there are no chunky bits of glitter sticking out anywhere, because they will be very annoying. You also want to make sure there's no bald spots, I guess you could call them, and add in any glitter to anywhere that doesn't have any. Don't worry too much about it being completely smooth, because I end up buffing it anyway, but you don't have to buff. So now I'm going in with my second coat of pigments. This time I'm probably using a little bit less pigment, but I am blending the edges more. So this stage is less about getting the colour intensity, more about blending the colours. Take your lighter colours and blend them into the darker colours so that, the darker colours aren't overtaking the nail. Just spend your time and blend them as best you can. And once you're happy with that, go ahead and apply a top coat and cure. Now once you've applied that top coat on the glitter nail, before you cure it, you might want to go in and just make sure that the pieces of glitter haven't been lifted up with your top coat brush. Just make sure that they're laying flat. And of course, top coat your pigment nails. Make sure you get right into the cuticle area, because anything you don't top coat will get wiped off when you wipe off the final tacky layer. Right, so I've wiped the tacky layer off this glitter nail, and now I'm just taking my file and filing the free edge, getting rid of any bits that are sticking out. And I'm going to take my buffer, you can see I'm feeling the nail to see if it's smooth, and just buffing the nail just lightly, nothing crazy, until it's smooth. You probably don't have to buff the top layer, you can just put on your second top coat and you'll be fine, but just to be sure. So now for the galaxy part, I'm going in with Bluesky Gel Polish 80501, and I put a large dot on, then take a small dotting tool with no product on, drag up, drag down, side to side, and then small lines in the middle of those. You want, well, for this specific style look, you want to have your top and bottom lines to be the longest, then the two side lines a tiny bit shorter, and then the other ones in between just shorter as well. You don't have to do one of these on every nail. You don't have to do one of these at all. This part of the design is completely optional. You could have just stayed with the neon rainbow nail design, but we were going for galaxy, so I put one of these on every single nail. Then I did cure those. You could just flash cure them, but I just did a full cure because I had to do the other hand anyway. And then you're going to take your different size dotting tools, and again the 80501, and just dot random sized dots all around the nail using different size dotting tools, different amounts of pressure, different amounts of polish on there, and just putting on some stars. Then once you're happy with your level of dots, go ahead and do a full cure. Then it is time for a final top coat. This top coat I'm using is Bluesky, just the regular top coat. And like I don't know if I said before, but on the thumb I just repeated the glitter nail because it was a bit easier and less messy, but you could do the galaxy or anything you like really. Obviously cure that, wipe it, apply your top coat, and that's the finished design. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something useful, and like I say, please subscribe and help me get to 100 subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for another nail art video. Bye bye!